seated. Good afternoon and welcome. We stand here today in the presence of their families to witness the marriage of Megan and Blake on this beautiful fall day. In marriage, we give ourselves freely into the hands of the one we love. And in doing so, each of us receives the love and trust of the other as our most precious gift. All of you are Megan and Blake's community, and each of you has played some part in bringing them to this moment. They want to thank you for being here to share their special day. Marriage is perhaps the greatest and most challenging adventure of human relationships. No ceremony can create your marriage, only you can do that. Through love and patience, through dedication and perseverance, through talking and listening, helping and supporting and believing in each other, through tenderness and laughter, through learning to forgive, learning to appreciate your differences, and by learning to make the important things matter and to let go of the rest. What this ceremony can do is to witness and affirm the choice you make to stand together as life mates and partners. Every couple has a story, and here is Blake and Megan's. Megan starts us off. I think everything happens at the right time and when it is supposed to happen. We both went to Merrimack High School but never knew each other. We both worked at Shaw's Supermarket. Blake got fired right before I started, so he jokes that I stole his job. Blake was in the same grade as my cousin Dean, and Blake told me a few months into us dating that my cousin once said to him many years ago, "You should meet my cousin. I think you would like her." That hit me hard because my cousin Dean and I were very close, and he passed away in 2011. We say that it wasn't our time to meet back then. We had to go through life in different paths, but somehow we ended up meeting in 2019, and our love story began. Here's how that meeting first went. Megan and Blake met on February 2nd, 2019. It was at a bar called Bonfire in Manchester. Blake was on a onesie pub crawl with his friends, and he was wearing an Eeyore onesie from Winnie the Pooh. But that didn't seem to deter Megan, and that Monday, Megan and Blake went out on their first date. Megan shared that she was very pleased that he came and picked her up dressed normally and not as Eeyore. From that day on, they've been inseparable. Here's a couple of dating stories as told by Blake. This one time, we were on the riverbank of the Merrimack. There were these bent-over trees at about a 35-degree angle. I thought it would be fun to climb up on them. Much to my surprise, Megan came climbing right up over them, wearing sandals. We climbed the majority of the trees that were not stable in the least, but she had this confidence that was inspiring. We must have been 20 to 30 feet in the air on wobbly trees, but you would never know it looking in her eyes. Megan isn't afraid to try new things and to get out of her comfort zone. Another time, I took her fishing. I didn't know she'd ever been fishing, but you would never know that. She even used a bait caster. She put the worm on the hook and cast the line. I was impressed. She then proceeded to catch the only fish on the outing, reeled it in, and I took the fish and removed the hook. I then gave her the fish and said, "You have to kiss the fish." She thought I was joking. Then she air kissed the fish, and I took a picture. And I said, "Toss it back," which she did like a softball, way up in the air and halfway out into the pond. I was dying laughing. Then there was the time we went to the Butterfly Place in Westford, Mass., which is a sanctuary for all types of butterflies. They are usually not very visible unless you're looking for them. But out of nowhere, a giant blue one flew down and landed on her shoulder. It was amazing. And if you haven't seen the picture, you need to ask Blake. I've got it on my phone too. It's amazing. Megan shares the proposal from her perspective. Blake proposed to me on September 14th in St. Petersburg, Florida. We were at a restaurant called Spinner's Rooftop Grill. It is 12 floors above St. Pete and slowly turns to give you a 360-degree view. It was beautiful and romantic. I cried happy tears, of course, and it was the best night ever. He had just gotten back from a 7-month deployment, and St. Pete was our vacation we were planning during his deployment for something to look forward to when he came back. Little did I know it was going to be the best vacation I ever had. And here's Blake's version. The whole trip leading up was nerve-wracking. I did not check my bag, so I had the engagement ring in the pocket of my military bag, praying it wouldn't set off the TSA alarm. But luckily, we made it through. When we got to the hotel, Megan wanted to use the safe for her purse and valuables. So into the sock drawer, the ring went. Then I forgot to lock the hotel room when we left. Megan was very concerned, and we went back and checked it out immediately. But I couldn't check on the ring until she went to the bathroom. I was sweating bullets. Back to the proposal. I had it played up like it was a formal restaurant so she would get all dolled up for what was about to happen. She definitely looked amazing. But as fate would have it, it was a downpour for about an hour before we had to be there. So we had to Uber the last 2 blocks. The water on the roads was at least a foot deep getting to the restaurant. Our feet were soaked. When we got to the top of the restaurant, I was nervous as can be. And I read online that you shouldn't present the ring right before the beginning of the meal. So we had food and drinks first. When we were done eating, Megan was like, "Are we good to go?" And I said, "No, I want dessert," which is very unusual for me. We ordered dessert, and after we finished, I stood up and got down on one knee and said, "Would you do me the honor of being my wife?" I was so nervous to do it in front of a large crowd or in public, but she said yes, and here we are today. I'm gonna wait till this truck goes by. Megan sums up her feelings about Blake this way. Blake and I only lived together for about 2.5 months before the pandemic hit in 2020. And then in January of 2021, he was deployed for 7 months. We always say we went through 2 major life events that could have torn us apart back to back. But since we made it through that, we can make it through anything, as long as we have one another. Blake has the kindest soul and the biggest heart. He is the definition of a true gentleman. He is caring, smart, and patient. He's outgoing and fun, and I love that he pushes me to be a little bit more adventurous and daring with him. And Blake ends with this. I knew from the very beginning that Megan is the most amazing lady that I have ever known. I love how she will always tell you how it is, but she is calm and collected. Her personality is contagious and inspires me to be a better man. I love her confidence. She is incredible, and I can't wait to call her my wife. End quote. Today's celebration is not that of a couple on the outset of a new relationship, but that of something special that has grown and strengthened through time. For their reading, they have chosen Sooner or Later by an anonymous author. Sooner or later, we begin to understand that love is more than verses on Valentine's and romance in the movies. We begin to know that love is here and now, real and true, the most important thing in our lives. For love is the creator of our favorite memories and the foundation of our fondest dreams. Love is a promise that is always kept, a fortune that can never be spent, a seed that can flourish in even the most unlikely of places. And this radiance that never fades, this mysterious and magical joy, is the greatest treasure of all, one known only by those who love. In this very special moment, we pause to think about all of the rich experiences of life that have brought Blake and Megan to this high point in their lives. We reflect on the values which they have found through their own strivings, and that within them is the dream of great love and the resources to use that love in creating a home that shall endure. We are especially grateful for the values which have flowed into them from those who have loved them and nurtured them and pointed them along life's way. The heritage each brings to this commitment will continue to be an important element in their lives and now will be shared between them. May every desire you have for your love be fulfilled, and may you be given the vision with which to clearly behold one another, the listening with which to perceive one another most genuinely, and the endless generosity of spirit with which to nourish one another's soul and sweetly keep the promises you make here today. Blake and Megan, I remind you that marriage is a precious gift, a lifelong dedication to love, and a daily challenge to love one another more fully and more freely. Do you, Blake, take Megan to be your beloved wife, knowing in your heart that you will be a faithful friend and a loving companion? On this special day, in the presence of family and friends as witnesses, do you give your vow that you will always be with Megan and support her in times of sickness and in health, in times of joy and in sorrow? Do you promise to love her completely, to console and comfort her during difficult times, to laugh with her and to grieve with her, to share with her life's simplest but most joyous occasions, to be truthful and honest with her, and to cherish her for as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Do you, Megan, take Blake to be your beloved husband, knowing in your heart that you will be a faithful friend and a loving companion? On this special day, in the presence of family and friends as witnesses, Do you give your vow that you'll always be with Blake and support him in times of sickness and in health, in times of joy and in sorrow? Do you promise to love him completely, to console and comfort him during difficult times, to laugh with him and to grieve with him, to share with him life's simplest but most joyous occasions, to be truthful and honest with him, and to cherish him for as long as you both shall live?
I do.
The circle is the symbol of the sun and the earth and the universe. It is a symbol of wholeness and peace. These rings are also symbols of your unity. Your two lives are now joined in one unbroken circle. Wherever you go, you will always return to one another in your togetherness. I, Megan.
I, Megan.
Take you, Blake.
Take you, Blake.
To be my husband.
To be my husband.
I take you as you are.
I take you as you are.
Love who you are now.
Love who you are now.
And who you are yet to become.
And who you are yet to become.
I promise to listen to you.
I promise to listen to you.
And learn from you.
To support you.
To support you.
And accept your support.
And accept your support.
I will love you.
I will love you.
And have faith in your love for me.
And have faith in your love for me.
Through all our years.
And all that life may bring us.
And all that life may bring us. There you go.
Repeat after me, Messi. Blake.
I, Blake,
Take you, Megan.
take you, Megan,
To be my wife.
to be my wife.
I take you as you are.
I take you as you are,
Love who you are now.
love who you are now,
And who you are yet to become.
and who you are yet to become.
I promise to listen to you.
I promise to listen to you
And learn from you.
and support you
To support you.
and accept your support.
I will love you.
I will love you
And have faith in you.
and have faith for your love in me
Through all our years.
through all our years and all that life may bring us.
And now for the pronouncement. Treat yourselves and each other with respect, and remind yourselves often of what brought you together. Give the highest priority to the tenderness, gentleness, and kindness that your connection deserves. When frustration, difficulty, and fear assail your relationship, as they threaten all relationships at one time or another, remember to focus on what is right between you, not only the part which seems wrong. In this way, you can ride out the storms when clouds hide the face of your sun in your lives, remembering that even if you lose sight of it for a moment, the sun is still there. And if each of you takes responsibility for the quality of your life together, it will be marked by abundance and delight. Blake and Megan, by the power vested in me by the state of New Hampshire, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss your beautiful bride. Let's hear it, folks. Mom, if you could bring the flowers up. Turn to your right. Everyone, please rise for Megan and Blake.